Was she actually interested, or was she just being friendly? And then later, it hits you. You replay the whole interaction in your head and realize you might have completely missed the moment. That hesitation, that overthinking, has cost a lot of men opportunities they didn't even realize were right in front of them. Because here's the truth. Most people never explain clearly. Attraction is rarely communicated directly. It shows up in small behaviors, subtle patterns, things that are easy to miss if you don't know what you're looking for. And the difference between someone being polite and someone being genuinely interested, it's not obvious at all. But once you understand the patterns, everything starts to make sense. In this video, we're going to break down a few key signals that can help you better understand when someone is actually interested in you. But there's one important rule you need to remember before we begin. You never rely on just one signal. One sign alone can be misleading, but when multiple signals show up together, that's when the picture becomes clear. Let's start with something almost no one pays attention to: context. Before you try to interpret someone's behavior, you need to understand their baseline. In simple terms, how do they act with everyone else? Some people are naturally friendly, they laugh easily, touch people casually, and engage in conversations with almost anyone. If they behave that way with everyone, then it doesn't necessarily mean anything specific when they do it with you. But if you notice a shift, if their tone changes when they talk to you, if their attention becomes more focused, if they seem more engaged with you than with others around them, that difference matters. Because people often reveal interest not by what they do, but by how differently they behave with one person compared to everyone else. Now, let's talk about conversation. Not just what is being said, but where it's going. There's a big difference between casual conversation and intentional engagement. If someone is giving short answers, looking around the room, or constantly distracted, they're probably just being polite. But when someone stays present with you, keeps the conversation going, asks more personal questions, or seems genuinely curious about your life, that's a completely different dynamic. Sometimes the conversation even starts shifting into more personal territory. Topics like your lifestyle, your routine, your interests, or how you spend your time. That kind of curiosity often signals a deeper level of engagement. Another thing to watch is playfulness. When someone starts teasing you lightly, joking with you, or creating a bit of back and forth energy, that's often a sign they're comfortable and enjoying the interaction. It's no longer just polite conversation, it becomes something more engaging. Now let's move to something even more important: body language. Because while words can be controlled, body language is much harder to fake. People often reveal how they feel through small, unconscious actions. For example, do they maintain eye contact longer than usual? Do they angle their body toward you even when others are around? Do they lean in when you speak? These are subtle signals, but they matter. Sometimes you might notice small gestures like adjusting their hair, touching their face, or shifting their posture while talking to you. On their own, these actions don't mean much, but combined with other signs, they can indicate increased attention and awareness. And then there's proximity. How close someone chooses to stand or sit next to you can tell you a lot. If someone consistently moves closer, stays within your space, or finds reasons to remain physically near you, that usually isn't random. People naturally create distance when they're not interested, and they reduce distance when they are. But again, context matters. One signal alone isn't enough. You need to see patterns. Now here's where many people make a mistake. They either assume interest too quickly, or they ignore it completely. Both approaches lead to confusion. The key is balance. Observe first. Look for consistency. Pay attention to how the interaction evolves over time. If you notice multiple signals happening together, focused attention, engaging conversation, consistent proximity, and positive body language, that combination often indicates genuine interest, not certainty, but a strong possibility. And that's where confidence comes in, because recognizing signals is only part of the equation. The other part is how you respond. If you stay stuck in your head, analyzing every detail, You miss the moment. But when you become more aware of these patterns, you naturally become more present in the interaction. And that alone can completely change how people respond to you. At the end of the day, attraction isn't about memorizing signals. It's about understanding behavior. It's about noticing patterns. And most importantly, it's about being present enough to recognize when someone is genuinely engaged with you, because sometimes the opportunity isn't missing. It's just being overlooked. And once you start seeing what's been there all along, your entire perspective on interactions begins to change.